Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host LovelyCheesePizza here. My throat is starting to hurt. It is 2:53 in the morning. We are just past the 50% mark of this endurance race. And welcome back to Let's Play some more Gran Turismo 3, the Ultimate Driving Simulator. At this point, the madness has not set in just yet, but the fatigue and pain in my throat is in full force now. But we're going to be okay, because we are determined. The determination is unwavering at this point to complete this race effectively and receive our prize and large cash pot that we may, you know, boil down and sell off to some sort of gold farmer in Nigeria or something, and then he'll be like, oh my god, it finally worked! I finally will actually have gold to sell to somebody! That's all I've ever really wanted! I just, you know, every time I call them, they never answer. And I didn't have anything to sell them anyways, but now they'll know that I really have gold to sell, and they'll totally take it, and I can finally have fulfilled the prophecy of giving back, so that I may ascend to immortality, and I can be the real Highlander. I can be Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod, but not at all, because I'm not even from the same region. But I can be the Nigerian Duncan MacLeod of the Clan Nigerian MacLeod. Oh, I don't know what that was all about. Anywho, we move on. Let me tell you. So I went to the coast the other day, and really good times, by the way. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, absolutely loved it. Went to Rogue Brewery with my fiance. Had a really good time there. That is just one of the best damn places. If you so happen to live, you know, if you are a viewer and you just so happen to live in the Oregon or Washington area, please, if you ever get the chance, make the trip to the Oregon coast and go check out Rogue Brewery, because not only are the brews amazing, but the food is almost amazinger. It's so good. I got to try, or actually we both did. We got to try their sample beer of the day. It was like this super delicious, very like crisp and smooth honey kolsch, and oh man, it was so awesome. Got to try some of their clam chowder, which you know, it's a funny thing, and also in terms of Oregonians especially. I think when you talk to, you know, people from Seattle, a lot of the time you're like, oh, what's one of your favorite places to get clam chowder from? For at least for me, my experience in this, I'm sure people that are actually from Washington, they'll probably have a different answer, but my personal experience when I talk to people from Washington, almost the classic answer is Ivar's. Like, that's the place to get seafood from, and that they have really good clam chowder and blah 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 blah. I've been to Ivar's. I thought it was pretty good. I haven't been there in like 15 years, but I remember when I went there, it was pretty good. In Oregon, you know, on the coast, a lot of people's opinion is, you know, the best place to get chowder is at a little spot called Moe's, and it's great. You know, they do have good chowder. I don't like it as well as I used to. I think they have severely dropped the ball in terms of how they ratio the way the clam chowder is. You know, they one thing they're doing that I absolutely am not cool with is, I think that they're I think in a drastic attempt to, you know, to try to not charge a lot more for, you know, for their product, which I admire that. The way they're doing it is not cool. Instead of, you know, instead of having a nice, you know, clam to potato ratio, these guys are going the other way around. And the last time I went to Moe's, I got their Slumgolian, which is, oh god, it's so good. They do like these little baby bay shrimp and the clam chowder in a bread bowl, and then you put some Tapatio hot sauce in there or Tabasco. Super good. The amount of fucking potatoes in there was astonishing. Like, every single spoonful of chowder that I got out of that bowl was like 65% potato about 25% clam, and then the rest of it just chowder. And it's like, why are there so many fucking potatoes in here? Like, I love potatoes as much as the next guy, but I'm pretty sure this is clam chowder, not potato chowder with a hint of clam. You know, give me the real deal Evander Holyfield, you know, sans part of veneer after Mike Tyson hacked it off and, you know, probably put it in a sandwich bag and probably went and jacked off his toe with it or something. I don't know. But what I'm getting at is the clam chowder at Rogue is quite possibly the best clam chowder I have ever shoveled into my face at record-setting pace. It is so good because not only because of the wonderful thing she does, fa la 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 la, the law as the song would imply, it's just so good, and their ratio is proper, and the flavor is fantastic, and it's just really good paired up with that beer. But I also had it was like this Kobe beef patty melt, which, oh man, I've not had a lot of opportunities of being able to have Kobe beef in my life. The first time that the first and really only other time in my life that I had Kobe beef was when I was in Vegas, and one of the restaurants, you know, they had Kobe beef burgers, and you know, that was kind of at the time that I went, it was a number of years ago, like Kobe beef was all the rage. Like everybody's like, oh, you really gotta try the Kobe beef, man. It's the best kind of beef you can get your hands on. It's like, but I know that it's like way more expensive. And so is it really even worth it? But since I was in Vegas and I was in full tourist mode, I was like, well, you know, I haven't done it yet, and you know, this restaurant's supposed to be top of the line, so I'm gonna take a shot at it, and it really was good. And you definitely can taste the difference. You can, in the words of Hank Hill, you can taste the meat and not the heat. Speaking upon which, on the way to the coast that day, I don't remember exactly where we were, but we were driving to the coast, and there was like this little you know, housing development area that was still kind of under construction partially, and I don't remember the name of the place, but it was you know, something hill. It was like you know, grassy hill, you know, generic kind of you know, sort of name for a collection of houses, and you know, it's supposed to sound really nice, and it's just like, oh, like you know, Mossy Grass Hill or something like that. You know what I'm getting at. But I kind of looked over at it because I was like, oh, those houses are really nice, and I was able to see one of the names of the streets right in there. Dead serious. One of the streets was called Hank Hill. It was so tight. I was like, what? Did that actually say? Was it actually called Hank Hill? I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing. Kudos to to the person who was actually like, you know what? I want to live on fucking Hank Hill, and so I'm gonna actually call this thing Hank Hill, and that super cool. I don't know if there was like a Peggy Hill and a Bobby Hill or anything like that, but I at least caught the Hank, and that's really all that matters, because you know, he's all about propane and propane accessories and tasting the meat and not the heat, unless you know you want to do that. But anywho, so that's another thing besides the point. Oh boy, here we go. So, yeah, it was super cool though. I really enjoyed that. So if you're ever in that area, definitely give it a shot. They have extremely good like beer battered fried oysters. Because hey, if you're trying to get into the mood for lots and lots of sex on the beach and such, why not totally do that? I think that's a pretty satisfactory way to go. And they also have incredibly good, like sriracha infused street tacos. I've had that thing numerous times there, and it's quite possibly just the best street tacos I've ever had in my life. They're so good. But fantastic. What else was I going to go out here? The fatigue in my brain is setting in. Like, I'm starting to kind of lose it a little bit. Okay. This is one of the main. Okay, this is one of the main things I was going at with this whole thing. So after we got that done, we went down to the pier because we wanted to look at like the sea lions and such, but they totally weren't even there. They had like some sort of wild mass exodus where they just went somewhere else. I've been there. I've been to that pier a million times, and they're always there, but they were all gone. Kind of freaking out a little bit, and everybody else that was there was totally bummed out about it. But so after they weren't there, we were just kind of going in different shops, and we had to go into like this cool art gallery, and they had like all these awesome ass, like photos and things from, like the 40s and the 50s and like the 30s and such, of like different areas around Oregon and like Washington. They had some cool things in from like San Francisco. Just like seeing how some of these larger cities have developed over over all these decades and such. Really cool thing to see, captured in black and white photography. Really enjoyed it. But probably the funniest moment while we were out, kind of palling around through this little shopping district area, is we stopped off in this little tiny convenience store because we were gonna try to pick up like a couple of just like a couple of things to drink and maybe get like a couple of little candy items because we wanted to go out on the beach and be able to go get our feet in the water and just kind of do the couples thing and be able to walk around on the beach together and kind of do that whole thing and just people watch and just kind of take in the sights and what have you, that whole thing. So we go into this little convenience store and I totally picked up some brisk. I've never really been much of a brisk guy, but I was so parched and just looking at two of the ones they had in there, just like absolutely like wet the whistle before I even bought them and drank them. They had their half iced tea, half blueberry lemonade. It was super good. And then the it's like strawberry melon, which hey, I'm super down with that anytime. And I also got some ranch sunflower seeds because nothing says being on the beach quite like chewing a bunch of sunflower seeds and spitting them all over the place where the birds can try to eat them and probably end up asphyxiating themselves to death by choking on them by trying to eat them. But so we grab our stuff and some candy items or whatever, and we bring it up to the front counter. And this guy, he's like, "Hey, you guys find everything okay?" And we're like, "Yeah, it was totally fine." And so he picks up a couple of things and starts scanning away, and like his little scanner thing like wasn't recognizing the barcodes, and the dude must have been in a pretty bad mood because after like 3 failed attempts with trying to scan this one item, this guy just like totally, he's like, "Jesus Christ!" What was this guy's name? Oh, Tony. I had to write it down just because I couldn't remember the guy's name. He's like, "Jesus Christ, Tony, what the fuck?" And there's no other guy in this place at all. Like, he was the only one in there. I'm just assuming it was probably the guy that was working there earlier or something. But he's just like, "Jesus Christ, Tony, what the fuck?" And he just like turns around and walks away and like walks over to the shelf where the thing was so you get the price off of it. And Michaela and I are just like standing there looking at each other like, the fuck is up with this guy? A pretty bad day. And in a brilliant moment of expert timing, Michaela looks at this guy and she's just like, "Yeah, fuck Tony, am I right?" And he just like looks back. He like looks back at her like, like just didn't really expect he didn't expect anybody to respond to what he was saying, let alone probably her, no less. And he's just like, yeah, definitely fuck Tony for sure. And he finally got it all figured out and got us all rung up and everything. And he's like, but he was still like kind of pissed off about it. He still kept muttering something under his breath about Tony, about Tony and all. Tony gets back from. And he's just like, he was so upset about whatever the hell this thing was that Tony apparently did or didn't do. I don't know which one of the two it was. And so so we're still kind of doing this, fuck Tony, that whole thing. And so we get our stuff and we're getting ready to go, and I really wish I would have done it. I really wish I would have. He gives us our stuff and he's like, "All right, you guys have a pretty good day." And I wanted so bad, like right before I walk out of the place, I kind of wanted to like turn around and pop my head right back in the building and be like, "Hey, but before we go, give Tony a big fuck you for me." I kind of wanted to do one of those, but I feel like I felt like at that point Tony had had a he'd already had kind of a healthy helping of already being fucked on, you know, at that point. So I decided not to add any more to it. But it's such a weird thing. I've never seen a guy just get so wildly upset over like just a couple of items not scanning properly on his machine or whatever. He just like, and he said it so loud, like it caught me by surprise. I was like, whoa, damn, Tony, what the hell did you do? Got good old Billy over here so worked up and out of control. That dude is just not fucking happy with you. So, you know, that whole thing. Alright, here we go. We're just about ready to call this one good as well because, you know, the end of the race is near. And, oh my god, my eyes. I'm sure you guys are probably noticing it, but my eyes I'm stressing them out. It's, I'm having to kind of, like, they're starting to get a little bit anchory right now. And, I'm not liking it. But we're hanging in. So this is the way that I see it. We're gonna stop right here because we are now officially at the, well, not really anymore, but we're kind of at the 75% mark of this race, and so we're in the home stretch now. We're finally into the home stretch, and in the next episode we can finish up this little endurance race. We can call it good. We can pick up our awesome prize. And we can move on with our lives. I can go to bed because it is 3:09 in the morning, and I'm going to be dead fucking tired tomorrow, but that's besides the point. So, when we come back on the next installment, we're going to do all the things that I just said, and it's going to be pretty damn great. And so, with that said, my friends, this is your host, LovelyCheesePizza, saying thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. One more thing. Totally went to Pig and Pancake for the first time in like 15 years or more. Loved that place growing up because I used to go to the coast all the time with my parents and my grandparents, and Michaela and I went there for dinner, and I totally had a Dungeness crab and cheese omelet. Would have never thought in a million years that would be as good as it was because I got it and I was like really apprehensive, like what the hell do I put on this? Like, do you put ketchup on it like a regular omelet? Do you put hot sauce on it? Like, would that be a better choice? They totally brought out cocktail sauce. Immediately, I was like, oh my god, this is the best. and I tried it, and oh, it brought the whole thing together. It was so good. But she got Dungeness crab eggs Benedict. Oh, I wish I would have gotten that instead, though. That hollandaise sauce was amazing. So, yeah, another little tidbit for you, just to stimulate your taste buds, because now I'm starting to get all frothy in the mouth because I have rabies, and I'm hungry, so... Being hungry and having rabies is definitely a combination of stuff. All right, guys, take care. I'm rambling. It's getting out of control. So I'll see you guys in the next episode, and we'll close out this endurance race. Bye, guys.